What is up, everyone? This will be my Rek'sai jungle video, and I'm going to go over everything you need to know on how to play Rek'sai in the new season. In Rek'sai jungle, there's a few ways to build her. For runes, I prefer to just go Conquer pretty much every time. For items, you can either go for the Stridebreaker build or the Titanic. The Titanic one has been more popular recently, and this game, I'm going to show you guys the Titanic build. So generally, Titanic into, like Cleaver and these sort of items. And for the Stridebreaker one, it's quite similar. So for tank items on Rek'sai, if you do want to go into the tanky item route, I recommend third item is when you usually would go for a tank item. This game, the enemy team is quite AD heavy. So if you wanted like a tank item, I'd probably go for like a dead man's third item, something like that. For pathing, you always want to start red if you can. Ideally, level 3 ganks are really important. We're going to be playing in Diamond MMR on this account. I kind of tanked the hell out of the placements, but we're still in Diamond MMR. So here I'm going to start red and just start with my Q, auto attack, and kite around. For jungle item, I prefer to go red. You can also go blue. And Rek'sai jungle, she's okay. She's not too bad right now. She's good if you know how to play her and if you're willing to practice her. I could see her getting buffed in the future, so she could sort of rise up because of that. So be optimistic about her. And her early game is quite strong, so she does have a lot of power in that regard. They are changing feats reward where first blood is going to be first to 3 kills, which could have good impacts for her because getting first blood is honestly a bit random, but getting 3 kills, for example, camping the support or AD carry who's running it down, could really be that easy for Rek'sai, so that could be a guaranteed thing. And also first tower also gives you a 70% chance to win the game, and Rek'sai extremely good in that regard. The only weakness of her is she's an early game jungler with somewhat of a weak early game, so you do want to make sure you don't fall behind. And here we're able to get the first blood, so that's really good for us. This is what I'm talking about for plays. You always want to be optimistic and look for something. For example, this Smolder, he's a target we could gank. Most likely they're not going to have a ward here. So what I'm going to do is just kind of wait for this melee to die, and he plays for the ranged minions. So see here, he's starting to play for the ranged minions. We go in, we go on him, knock him up, kite with it. He flashes, he's pretty much dead. And you see how I didn't really initially flash? The key about these ganks early is you're not going to flash on someone who's healthy because you're not going to have the damage to kill. They're just going to flash away. Unless you have a mid laner or someone who can CC them right after. But generally, those plays, you want to see if they flash early. Maybe you flash after and then you can run them down. But you have to be optimistic. Unless you're half health, you generally won't have the damage. It's just one shot. Smolder, a dragon is quite weak. This guy is actually quite troll. So what I'm going to do is lure him a bit. But we see we can actually have some blitz help here. So we're going to go monkey right away. And you can see how I was really patient. It's all about being patient. I didn't tunnel away right away. And for the dragon, or for the blue buff, what you noticed was I just E-smited. It does around like an extra 100 damage. The hooks all will go, but you just want to be really patient with your champion. So here, you can go into Tiamat, you can go into Tunneler. It really depends on you. Generally, I prefer to have the Tunneler just to have more damage. You could go for a triple sword as well. But honestly, the Tunneler feels really good. Just because of this. This item is really good for early fights. And you do scale a bit off HP. 15 AD is honestly good enough. 20 AD. Tiamat, it does feel good too, but you can also go triple sword if you prefer that. But since I'm itemizing into the Titanic Hydra this game, we do want to get the Tunneler first. See how the Vladimir, he was gankable, right? But we don't want to gank in that situation, mostly because if we gank there, it could be a bit risky. So this guy, this is what I'm saying, the Tunneler does have the value in these sort of fights. So here I know he's going to die. So what we're waiting here is for our knockup debuff to be right back up, and then we flash on him and just kill him, right? And that's the Tunneler much better in these scraps. And the Tunneler just brings high value. In a situation like that, you're going to win a lot of earlier 1v1s with the Tunneler buy. Stridebreaker, you don't really have a good buy like that. The Phage component isn't really that good. But the Tunneler is quite nice. So here we just go back to farm mode. Activate farm mode. Make sure we clear as much as possible. Early game, I'm not really a big fan of, for example, Dragon. I'm more of a grubby man. I think void grubs are just extremely good to have. Extremely important. So I always sort of play around the grubs. Even though it's 29 seconds, I do want to think a lot about the Void Grubs and what we're going to do about it. Because Rek'sai is really good around them. And because we have the first blood, getting Void Grubs would help our chances of getting, for example, the first tower. That's something we should look forward to. This guy's setting up an incredible, beautiful gank that I'm going to complement by doing the exact same thing he did with the Hex Flash. What we're going to do is E this way. Actually go this way because they're starting to die. And I'm just going to show up for the party. So my goal, avoid the trap, and just, oh my god, get hit by the trap because I'm giga thick. I'll probably keep this wave here because I don't really want to push an early wave. But this is what becomes an issue because I show in this situation, he could be on grubs and I can't really punish him because of that. And if I do dragon, it'll take a very long time. What I want to do is actually swing on this guy. And if he's not really showing a gank, we just take this side of the jungle. So if this side of the jungle is up, for example, if Raptors are up, most likely you can just make the assumption that Wukong is on the grubs. So I know Wukong is on the grubs. I don't really want to start dragon yet because I want to steal maybe his bot side to really, you know, get a good experience advantage and maybe look for like a bot player. Early dragons, like I said, they honestly are a bit of a bait. You really want to play for yourself. If I had like Tristana right next to me on that dragon timer, yes, I would be more inclined for it. But otherwise, it's not that good. So here I'm going to go for what we need is these melee minions to die. Because I need minions to tank it. But unfortunately, we're not able to do that. So I'm going to ulti and kill. Caitlyn was able to clear quite fast. But overall, I would say we're in a really good spot economically. This is a reasonable angle to start the Air Dragon. And the big reason for that is we killed the bot lane. My bot lane has really good tempo. They're happy to be in this area. Enemy bot lane is quite literally dead. They're not going to be in this area. Wukong shows topside. I know Wukong won't be here. Reasonable dragon now. Especially because I'm really short for Titanic. So if I can just get Titanic on this base, I'll be really happy as well. Why not finish it with an Air Dragon? But a really important thing you need to understand is I play in the sense, I play around the map, right? I make my plays depending on where I am and also what's going on around me. The game isn't going to be perfect. It's not going to be like, I'm going to get Void Grubs every game because they're good. You know, sometimes I'm going to be bot side where the enemy bot lane is trolling, where we kill them. And I give up Void Grubs positioning, but because I did that, it was actually really good for us. So instead of contesting Grubbies, I'll just take his bot side and make another bot play opposite to where Wukong is, right? You see how I'm playing off of whatever is occurring? It's all about that adaptability. You have to adapt as much as possible, especially if you want to be a good player. Adapt, adapt, adapt. And yes, I would love Void Grubs, right? But you have to be willing to give up some things depending on the game, the state of the map. And if you ever see the other jungler on Grub's top side, it pretty much means you should like maybe do something in his bot side jungle, steal whatever jungle camps. Be very aggressive on the other side. And that applies to a lot of things. For example, if he's on the bot side dragon and I'm top side, what would I want to do? I'd probably want to dive this guy and kill him, or maybe take his topside jungle. Same thing really applies because dragons and Void Grubs take a while to do. And especially with the grubs, a lot of times the support will roam up too, and then you just have to give it up. In this meta, the jungler who's the most patient will always win. The one who plays real slow and is willing to give up things that aren't worth fighting for. Because if you die as a jungler, you miss out on so much farm. Right now, you can see I'm just power farming with Titanic. I'm just accelerating my gold gap by so much that the enemy team is not going to have any way to deal with me. This game is pretty much over since the bot side plays. They just don't even know it yet. So here we want to set up a bot gank, right? What am I aware is this ward just timed out. Maybe they peek up here. This will probably get rewarded. If not, we're going to enter it. Once the wave crash, you'll start to notice the team appear. So here we can see that was warded. Makes sense why they left. Here they're going to clear out my vision. Wukong is here. We're tracking him, right? A third person is Wukong. What I want is Blitz to come here so we can actually make a play around here. But I don't have Blitz here. So I'm going to just go on Wukong. killing him with R should be possible. Would have to be aware of who's ever going to roam here. A wave could come from down here. Kaylin comes too. Have to be a bit careful. I'm gonna flash here. Just buy a little bit of time. Not really committing anything, you know. I'm just playing slow and steady. And if I want to heal up, it's actually quite easy for Rek'sai to heal up. We just have to go jungle. I don't want to give them 6 grubs if I can. I do have to respect Wukong could have base and instantly run up here because he didn't show bot side. So my goal, if I do crab, I'll pretty much have enough HP to do grubs right after. And if you struggle against Wukong in general, my advice to you is to understand that his ulti is a really long cooldown early game. So when his ultimate is down, he's much weaker. He's actually very weak when his ultimate's down, especially early game. So your goal is to understand that. And, you know, for example, he's coming down here. I'm not going to let him be in this area. If he keeps chilling, I would just go kill him, right? My ulti is always going to be up before his. Just a very easy target to pick on. So here I'm going to check his camps. He's probably going to be on Wolf. Check Wolf camp. Nope, he's not here. Okay, so he's leaving the top side. What do we know about this? We know if he's bot side, no one is going to help this man, this Vladimir. He's alone. Getting his pool pretty much guarantees he dies. And now anyone can tank. No, I didn't get to chaos it. But you see how it's always about these number situations. When I see the jungler going to the opposite side, it gives me a lot of confidence. A lot of people struggle with counter ganks. Play away from that area, right? Here we're able to get another tower off the, you know, having 3 grubs does accelerate it greatly. But I've won a lot of games where they get all 6 grubs. They get dragon. But we still win the game, right? So it's really about you yourself want to be as ahead as possible. It's about you as a jungler. I don't want to be dying. I want to be farming as much as possible. And here I do like Cleaver. We're going to have upgraded boots. So what stats do they have? They have a lot of AD. So I'll most likely go armor boots here. And I'll just go into, you know, honestly, probably just a candle jungle. I don't like tank item second on Rek'sai. I like tank item possibly 3rd or 4th on Rek'sai. It's quite good. Titanic does feel really good. Interesting. In this situation, I could start Dragon right now and just do it. Get it off the table for us. It's a good... It's perfectly okay. So what I want to do is make sure Wukong isn't nearby. And I'm just going to get rid of the Dragon. There's 2 options here. It's either I do this play when I'm instantly just controlling Dragon doing it, or I go topside and I farm and we just sort of wait for a better Dragon timer. Those are the 2 things you should be thinking about. This situation, I can solo it quite fast, so I'm okay with this. I'm really ahead. I'm gonna get the crab as well. You sort of bought mid fights here. I'm really not that interested in. I have to see more commitment, right? For example, Smolder walking this way bot side. Easy pickings, easy target. I will kill him because I can just get a good amount of gold off of this too. Do my little Rek'sai combo. Oh, he's over the wall. Oh, that's too bad, Smolder. I can just chase you. All right, now he's annoying me. So we're gonna have to E over the wall here. That's what I thought, you little dragon, little rat. Maybe not worth it, but I wanted to kill him. But overall, the idea is you do want to prioritize your farming. There, realistically, I would have just left and went to farm my bot side and cleared my jungle up. But I wasn't going to let a rat get away like that. Not on my watch. But overall, what's good about this situation? We got the dragon. We're happy about that. Secure the objective so you don't have to worry about that. And now we really do need to go back into farm mode. So if there's a fight, I really am going to be very reluctant to take it. I'm not going to really want to take a fight right now. It would have to be a very appetizing fight, which I don't think is going to happen. So what we're going to do, we're just going to go into farm mode and activate farm mode. So starting from top side to top to bot. Realistically though, I could probably do half my jungle, do Rip Herald, then do the other half, which looks like it's going to be the play. You do want to make sure you're securing the objectives when you're ahead, right? But also you want to make sure you're not losing fights. You're not falling behind in your farm when you're ahead. I've been in situations where I'm really ahead in this case and we should be taking Rip Herald, but my team doesn't help me at all. So in those situations, it really is better to just give it if your team is not going to help you with objectives. Like, it's not up to you to be getting every objective. If your team isn't going to help you, if the enemy team is grouping, then really just, it doesn't matter. Them getting that Rip Herald isn't going to change the game all that much. Them getting one dragon realistically isn't going to change the game that much. You giving your bounties away, you losing 30 seconds on the map as a jungler is just really bad. So just be aware of that when you're playing the game. I've been in a lot of situations where we just easily throw just like this. So it can always just be very, very sad. Here, make sure you get the eye procs on it. My smite does 900, so I'm gonna just E-smite together. Always a nice combo. Here, I'm gonna scan the area. And then just go back. So the combo is pretty simple. What I'm doing is actually going burrowing. Oh, hell no. Damn, I thought Camille could live longer. That's also a bad fight in the regards of they just have numbers. When the team starts to lose, you'll notice your team overextending on fights. They'll generally start to have numbers in places you don't really just want to give them those numbers. But a few deaths here and there, they're not really game breaking. I was able to get the jungle. I was able to clear, but you can see the CS lead is starting to get closer and closer, and that's not okay with me. So we do want to get these eventually. They are quite good into these sort of heavier comps. I'm not well itemized against, you know, a Wei or a Vladimir. I have mostly armor. So I do want to prioritize sort of getting my resist stats. And we want to really just emphasize on farming. I really like to teach people that, you know, full clear in this meta. In the meta it's been for jungle for a while. It really is just about full clearing, and then after you're clear, go for some sort of aggressive play. You're going to have a lot of time after you finish clearing, or, you know, a possible whatever option play, like a gank or a dive or a fight. So really just play real slow. And with the sort of game we're in now, what you're going to notice is there's just a lot of objectives happening, right? Otacon's going to be up in a minute. Dragon's going to be up in 30 seconds. So you're going to end up falling a lot behind if, for example, you fight for an Otacon. And then your team, you die and you don't get it. And then you have to go fight again, right? You end up in these sort of situations which realistically aren't that good for you. So here my goal is to play for Dragon and Otacon. A lot of people talk about the feats reward, like they really don't make that big of a difference till later. So you still have to play your game. You still have to play sharp and smart. Get this dragon. Good, step 1. Get Otacon, step 2. That's when you really, pretty much when you get Otacon when you're ahead is when you can really, you know, you really push your advantage real far. And it's really hard for your team to understand when it's up. It seems really weird the way it's presented on the map. It's hard to notice it on the mini-map, so you just have to be aware of it. A lot of people aren't ready for it. These sort of picks around it, essential. This is where you want to be grouped up as your team. I'll drop Herald bot side. I will look to fight here just because we have a really good flank on them. We'll see what Blitz does. I could ulti to kill him, might as well. And here, we're just gonna go play for Otacon. Since we killed 4 people, you can sort of get away with that and just go do red. I'll probably just do red and then Otacon, so I'm not too worried right now. Red buff is really nice to have. I'll probably not go for the Krugs, but I will go for the red buff. Yeah, it's just a very solid game. Make sure your build's good. In this situation, I usually don't build more damage. I just go into, you know, real tanky stats like armor and MR. For example, Deadman's into Spear Visage would be really good for me. That's most likely will be my build. After a 2-item spike with Cleaver, I usually find it to be as pretty much this is as much damage as you really need on Rek'sai. You sort of just need that durability right after. Also, the flowers, they are quite good, so just hit them whenever you can. Base now because I want to have a good base timer. Don't really care for that one though. And here we're going to get the armor boots. Very nice. Also the movement speed thing. You can go into other components as well. Examples would be Randuin's. Could be a Randuin's game, but I could also go Randuin's later as well to stock double items. Derek's is good, but I honestly don't prefer Derek's that much. I do like the split push too sometimes on Rek'sai. When my team is just really bad and they're just running it down. Like right now, my team is running it down. Okay. I just don't join in on that. I just go farm. I just want to just make sure I'm really ahead in my experience. As you can see, I'm really doing a good job right now, I would say, experience-wise. This guy will not let him get the tower. What we're going to do is just grab this. Go on as much damage, kite back a bit. You can dodge this with your ulti on Rek'sai. I have E, so I should be able to live. The speed is helping a bit too. Remember, if you want to heal up on Rek'sai, just go farm. I should have just killed Caitlyn right away with my flash, but it's okay. Just a bit laggy. See how much health I have? Incredible, incredible HP. Yeah, with Baron being in 25 minutes, once you get the Otacon buff, the game slows down a lot. Here I'm going to go on him. I'm very strong. This guy would not do much to me. Once the ultis, just leave. Wait for the Vladimir. Getting these big abilities like Wukong ulti are really good. And remember, when you're low, jungling just heals a lot on Rek'sai. It's about that passive regen. Her passive regen, very good. For MR item, you do want to go Spear Visage. Honestly, you could kill it. With the grubbies, you can just backdoor this. It's low enough for me to just do that, which is nice. Pretty close to Deadman's. What I like about Deadman's is when you go Titanic, Deadman's feels really good to help you actually catch up to people, and the movement speed is really good. Usually, this game I would go Spear Visage 3rd or 4th item, and I'll feel really good. I would feel really good about my build with a Spear Visage. And the last item is more flexible. You can go like Sterix. DD is also good in some situations if you want more damage, but honestly, with the way the game is, having an early armor item against AD champs or an MR item helps a lot. When you don't have resist, like imagine like right now I have literally no MR, it feels real bad. And you guys can probably notice when it feels real bad. So just really play around that. Wow, easy kill. I'm gonna go for an engage here. Go to Wukong, ulti. Damn, I was way too deep there. You can see how not having that, it really, you need to avoid Vladimir at all costs. And I advise not to like engage the way I did. Point blank engages are never good on Rek'sai. I should have looked for an angle. You always want to come from these sort of flanks and angles. Over walls is the general rule. If you come from over walls, you're going to notice a lot more success with your engages because it extends the range and it just feels much better. But again, I kind of got in a weird situation without knowing where Wukong was. But once I get my MR, I'm going to be really, tanky, which is good. She should die here. And yeah, really think about your armor and your resist, your stats. Your defensive stats are really important. A lot of the games on Rek'sai, in general, any sort of melee bruiser, it's really important to know when you're building armor and MR. Or when you get it. If you wait too late, I find it really bad for your game. Here, now it's Baron time. You do want to play for the Baron. The best way to play for it is to just be in the general area. We're so ahead. We've gotten every objective in the game, thanks to me, except for the first Void rotation, but we punished them for that one. Just be confident when you're ahead. Don't go for crazy dives though. Be smart. Going for Vladimir can be a good play. And the Deadman's just increases your pick ability. His pull is down, so I can actually look for a play here. Yep. So what we're doing is setting up these sort of flanks. If he hits hook, I can get her. Go knock up Titanic, E, one shot. Do I want to go for him? I could. Keep kiting. You're all about comboing. E, keep kiting. You can see how it's just absurd the amount of space I'm able to create. They might try to turn on me, so what I'm gonna do is just kill minions as I sort of provide another zone option. Beautifully done by my team. Vladimir, the reason I wasn't ulting because he has pull, so I needed to get him to pull earlier, but it happened. You can see hitting structures will give you the full benefit of your passive regen. The HP from it is quite OP. The damage is still there, but you're not going to be one-shotting people. You're always going to be doing that in and out play style. Weaving in and out. Heavily. Ooh, I couldn't. It was so weird. I'm like, girl, but I'm not. Fight. Always play around the tunnel. Once you start going into the game later on, the cooldowns on your tunnel are going to be really short. You're going to be weaving in and out. Sometimes you're taking tunnels, going back in. A lot of that playstyle. Could easily play for, you know, fighting. But very greedy. We already got Nexus Towers. We got inhibs. I'm going to base. And this is where I would go for my MR item, because a lot of the damage I'm taking is actually because we don't have MR. You could go for pinks later in the game, but it's realistically up to you. You don't have to do it. Just believe in yourself. Believe in you. Here, I usually just do like Raptors or Krugs. Or sorry, Raptors, then Red, and then we just group up really fast. Don't really farm my Krugs here. Just because we're on like a bit of a timer. That we do want to group up and be fighting around this area. I'm super strong now. I'm happy to fight. I want to fight. Tagging him. If it's real Wukong, you'll know right away. Awkward. See how little damage she does to me? She ain't really a sheriff. She's fake. She's a phony. So I'm just going to tank because of how tanky I am. You can see the durability at full effect. Knocking up the Wukong, very important. Mountain Soul, much more broken. And yeah, I hope you guys like this video for Rek'sai Jungle. Be sure to like, subscribe if you haven't already. Good luck on the game, good luck on the climb, and I'll see you guys next time.